Three entrepreneurs, one podcast, zero chance we agree on everything. This is the Ron Table. When business gets real, life gets messy, guests drop in, opinions fly, and yes, movie quotes are basically a second language. Business, life, occasional dumpster fire. So pull up your seat and let's get into it.
Hey, welcome back to the table where real talk meets real business. So I'm Ron Miller, and today I'm joined by the brilliant Laine Belcastro and the one and only Nicole Gray. And we are going straight into a topic that many people are avoiding, and that is absolute burnout. And we're going to hit surface level stuff. So this is the kind of show where, your business only works if you're constantly working. I think as entrepreneurs, that's what we're built on, right? Your business and your growth doesn't work unless you're constantly working. And it's the kind of excuse we've always hung our hats on, justified and glorified in the entrepreneurial space because we all come from that corporate space. So the question we're asking you today is, are we normalizing this grind at the expense of our health, our clarity, and long-term success, or are we not? And hey, listen, let me start out by saying, listen, I'm guilty of this. I can tell you, coming from the corporate side, this used to be what I'd hang my hat on, because we were taught, right? This was drilled into us that if you were going to be successful, you were always working, always on, always available, no matter if it was a night, a weekend, a kid's birthday, you're at a funeral, you're on the top of the roller coaster at Disney World. You pick up that phone because your schedule didn't matter. It was your boss's schedule. It was the company that mattered. I know, forever and a day, I sacrificed everything. It didn't matter. I can remember I had a huge customer that, yes, I was so proud of building a $26 million market in the middle of an economic downturn, right? Everyone remembers what 2015, 2016 was like, right? Going into 2017.
Yeah.
I took a market where everybody else was closing down and I built it from $1 million to $26 million through that period. And I had a big customer that worked 24/7. And I can remember standing at a Halloween parade, never seeing my daughter go trick-or-treating, never watching the parade because I was on the phone the whole time because guys that were trying to get to work were stuck in a traffic accident on the New Jersey Turnpike, and I needed to have a solution for that.
Nope.
But that's what we were taught. We were always on, always fixing, always doing, and burnout was your badge. You didn't call it burnout. It was hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What did that done to us? I know for me coming into this, as an entrepreneur, it took me a little while to really deprogram my brain from that. Because if I wasn't, just like when I was looking for a job before I decided to start this, I would get dressed, I would start applying for work at 7:40 in the morning, and I would stay looking for jobs, writing resumes and cover letters until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Because if I didn't, I felt like I was worthless.
Yeah.
Probably the best example of burnout that there is because you just program that way.
Yeah. That's exactly how corporate raises you, basically. But I was also raised in a family that was like that. So a lot of people in my family, pretty much all of them, I feel like, are entrepreneurs. They own their own businesses. And we grew up basically being told, if you're not working, you're failing. If you're not working 24 hours a day on whatever it is that you're doing, you're failing. So I had that ingrained in me from a very young age, gotta love the Italian way. But I thought, okay, well, I'm off to college and I'm going into corporate where it's probably not like that. And it was exactly like that. So I guess in a positive note, great that I was already aware of this way of life, but corporate really drives that home because if you're not the last one to leave the office, you're probably going to get fired. That was what was instilled in us. So we were pretty much trained to be afraid. And so we worked all the time. And when you leave and you're on your own, you do work more, but it's for yourself. But it's still burnout. You still have to train yourself to be okay, I need to go away from my computer after 76 hours.
But entrepreneurship also, I mean, they glamorize it, right? Think of all the TV shows and the movies. It's always, and then of course the backstory of like, I was in my garage, me and two guys, and, they like lived in their garage. So we thought that too, like, oh, okay, if I leave the corporate world, well, of course I have to work hard but then you're sold that bull of it's freedom.
Yeah.
But you're not free because you're still working. And it's that 24/7 mental marathon because like you were saying, Lainey, I got to be the last one to leave the garage, even.
Yeah.
But it's such bullshit because it's not a badge of honor.
Yep.
It's not like people hang in that whole I'm busy today. They kind of use that as an excuse of being an entrepreneur just because you worked around the clock.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right.
Because the idea is to work smarter, not harder. Like I did not want to take that 24/7 mentality from corporate on my own, but people feel like, oh, when they see like, what do you mean you just work 3 hours? But then you're not really putting the time into your business. No, I'm working smarter now.
Right.
So if you're still working around the clock, well, you're just doing that for bragging rights and it's stupid.
Right.
So, yeah.
It is very much something that people wear as a badge of honor, like you were saying. It's very much glorified, especially on LinkedIn. And I'm like, it doesn't look good anymore these days. Like, I think we're finally getting to that turning point where it's like, no, this isn't healthy. And you actually are doing yourself a huge disservice in your business if you are working that much.
Yeah.
We all have moments, like we all have moments where we have to work long hours.
Yeah.
Projects come up, but if it's all the time, something's wrong.
And something I wanted to bring up to you guys too, the whole hustle culture, and, the side hustle. And I get it, but I wish it was named something else than hustle because what people don't understand, and hopefully you can learn from us, we are all the members of our company. Mm-hmm. We don't have partners. We don't have a CEO or CFO. And I'm not saying this to complain because we chose this life, but even with that, sometimes it's very lonely and people don't get that. It's hard. I had sent this recording to Ron and I was just kidding. I never put it out there, but I was just like, today the CEO pissed me off. The CFO had something to say. I went to HR and tech support wouldn't help. And guess what? I'm all those people.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant video.
But you feel like that. But that whole side hustle, everybody's like, ooh, again, another badge of honor because you're all these people. You don't have a choice but to be all those people.
Yeah.
Unless you have the means to hire a team, you have to be all those people. That still doesn't mean you got to take all the hours of the day for all those positions.
Right. Yeah. And it's exactly like that. Like you were saying, you went to 4, supposedly different people and they're all you. I mean, even just this past Friday, I think I cried like 4 times that day while I was working because all of a sudden there were all these like last minute projects that came in and I was like, oh my God, like these have to get done and I have to do it all because that's just kind of what this entails right now. And I was working until like 9:00 at night on Friday and I was just miserable. I was like, this is not why I signed up to do this on my own. And it's horrible, but shit happens and you get it done and then you tell yourself never again. But it is very real because it's very much like, oh my God, I just need help, but there's nobody there to help until you have the means to hire those people.
Yeah. Yeah. The hard part of entrepreneurs too, because we're singularly in this business. So you don't want to say no to the work. And we're programmed not to say no and set those boundaries, right? Because I know I still have that fear inside of me. And I'm the CEO and CFO and head of marketing. And, at Casa de Mil, I'm also the head of maintenance.
Yep.
You're quarter lunch lady, groundskeeper, but I'd still have in my head that if I say no, I'm going to find myself being like Milton Wadhams in a basement asking about my damn stapler.
Yeah.
But
you probably have Hawaiian shirt Friday.
Than what I have on Fridays, Laine, but it's not the Hawaiian shirt. For you watching the video, this is not built for Hawaiian shirts. This colorblind giant Charlie Brown John Cena blockhead. Like I'm part of the future, but a mask is like the stand-in stuntable for Lego Batman.
Yeah.
It's still my fear. And it's that programming of I always had in corporate because if you would sit and watch it happen systematically.
Yeah.
You would, and you could call it out. It wasn't about performance. It was about likability. And if you weren't in the clique, you had to hustle, in air quotes, hard and make yourself available, or you were going to find yourself on the block.
Yeah. I mean, I think about it. Sometimes corporate America was just high school with people with 401ks.
Yeah.
It's just such a BS. Or the nerds.
Yep.
Or, you're the kid who's trying to get with the cool kids.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was all, trying to perform. I mean, it's so ridiculous. But then you go on your own and you still kind of have that label. You kind of still feel like, oh, I have to prove to somebody. And it's like, you don't have to prove anything.
Yeah.
And I know you're saying, Ron, about saying no, because you feel like you don't want to say no to work. Because what if I don't get any more work? I mean, at the end of the day, somebody's got to buy these $500 eggs.
Yeah.
So
But you got to deal $500 eggs. I'd like 2 dozen, please.
Yeah. But Nicole, that does bring up a really good point. And I really like the stat that I'm going to steal from you, Nicole, because you sent this.
Sure.
But one of the stats you sent over about this was 75% feel pressure from others' expectations.
Yeah.
Which is still true when you're on your own, because like you said, if you say no, you feel like you're not keeping up with everybody else or everything that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. That's what they call them. Like it's like you have the Instagram entrepreneurs, the LinkedIn entrepreneurs. The ones I think on Instagram are almost worse, because it's like, do you want to know how I made $80,000 in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
No, Josh, because you didn't.
You definitely
lying.
You're selling pictures of your feet. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. You have an OnlyFans page and you call that coaching. So stop lying.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, but that's his side hustle. His real hustle, how he made 80,000 in 15 minutes, is because he had 400 people that took the clickbait and paid him $149.99 for his secrets that amounted to him talking in circles.
Yeah.
Right.
Not that I've ever clicked on one of those. But weren't you and I on a call once where I was like messaging you, and it was like one of the things about like how to like up your LinkedIn profile, and I got off in about 15 minutes because all she talked about was pure.
He was very specific with the 149.
I think you know way too much about this, Ron. Tell us more.
Nicole, was it you and Anne Marie that I was on a call with once? It was a free one, utter nonsense. It was like, it was a course for someone who like needed to understand like, this is a computer and this is the internet.
Yeah.
This is how people connect. Welcome to LinkedIn. This
You want to know what Wi-Fi stands for? Me and Ron are like, we know what Wi-Fi stands for, lady.
Wow. That's sweet. Wow.
I was like 15 minutes. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Did she have like an AOL email address?
It might have been Hotmail.
She had a team of 3 really spunky individuals that were yesing her on there to death and really drawing people in. And I would guarantee you that is one of those people that thinks they're hustling hard and thinks that they're doing something that they can sell. And all they're doing is selling you a line of bullshit that you're paying for and getting nothing out. And probably 50% of the people on that call paid for the next level of that course.
Yeah. I would say most of the people who are burnout, who are entrepreneurs, is because they spend so much time worrying about other people.
Yeah.
And worrying about what other people are doing and trying to like the whole mindset of like keeping up with the Joneses. Like you're trying to keep up with that other LLC and just worry about yourself. It's not.
It's not going to happen right away. And there's a million things that you're being told that you should be doing. And so we're all trying to do all of them. Can't be 18,000 people at once. Like I saw Multiplicity and it just doesn't look fun. Like, do you guys remember that movie? Okay, never mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding me? There was like 47 Michael Keatons. Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah. Oh,
the only thing better is there would have been like 52 Jason Batemans.
I agree.
Man is a natural treasure, by the way. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I would say, side note, I'm with you. I'm a big fan of Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman, if you're ever listening, we love you.
We love and I love your podcast too, Jason Bateman. Smartless.
Heartless is number 1 on the podcast. I don't care. By Kelsey Brothers.
And just so you know, he'll always be Jason Bateman. We have to say both names.
Maybe Jason Bateman will hear this and he'll buy us all eggs.
Will Arnett doesn't get a hold of them because all come with like a middle finger stamp on each one.
But Sean Hayes, I think, would really get behind it. So,
and I love me some Sean Hayes. So just want to throw it out there too.
Same.
Yep. See, folks, this is why you have to build your village so you all can talk about really hard hitting stuff. and then all of a sudden just take a sharp left and just get under the tangent. This is what makes you feel good as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Wait, you know what's kind of funny though? We'll reel this back in. So, and I'm going to say this from my perspective, because listen, I've only been in business for a year and a half, so I've been very limited. And yes, folks that are listening, I need help. So if you really know people in business that are looking for a consultant like me, or a coach like Nicole, or a email marketing expert that has a lot of insight and a lot of frivolity in what she does, like, we all could use your help, right? Like, put the word out there, because we are struggling business owners in this economy. But to that point, shameless plug, one thing I do notice is in a couple of the customers that I've had, so especially some of the smaller ones in the staffing space particularly, they have the same problems that I grew up in, where that hustle culture, that we're going to work to burn out and everyone's got to do 50 interviews, it stymies the growth.
Yeah.
And they're translating it into single ownership and trying to launch on their own with that same mindset. And they are setting themselves up for non-growth. And it's hard to get through in that, because it's not that they're building something that's broken. It's just they're building something that's only going to work with them and never work without them.
yeah,
It's true.
you end up sabotaging yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have
And I
to
think
build processes that you can replicate. That's
Right.
absolutely what you need. And I say that, and I mean, I need to do that for my own business too. Like, you
Yeah.
get so busy and you just feel like you constantly have to do it all yourself. But like, if you can replicate it for someone else to help you, freaking do it.
Yeah. There's a quote I wanted to read you guys. The emotional labor of leadership is draining.
Yes.
You have to ask for help. I think this thing of, if I ask for help as an entrepreneur, it means I failed. Like, no, you can't do it all on your own. You have to ask for help. Whether it's like you were saying, we were talking earlier, a therapist. I know as a coach, I need a coach. There's tools that you can use. These people who are like I don't want to use any tools. Like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
There's a reason why God created ChatGPT. I mean, it's just use it as a virtual assistant, but there's things out there that can help you. Nobody's gonna say in your grave, when you died at 49 trying to be an entrepreneur, oh, well, it was just, oh my God, he was so wonderful. He did everything on his own. No, that's not good.
No.
That's not good. So, yeah.
Yeah. Your family's not going to remember you, when you're gone, that man, he was never around, but dude, that guy slow burning to self-destruction, whined with his flap log in, made him a legend. Wait for it. Larry, right?
Yeah.
And it's, Ron is available to do obituaries for $99.99. So,
This doesn't work out, and I already have a plan. It's called color commentator at Walmart.
All good.
I think it would really enhance that shopping experience if there was somebody like me up in a booth calling shit out.
and you know what? I would kill for that. I want to hear, and on aisle 8, she's going down and she doesn't have a bra. She does need a bra. I think we can all agree, right? Am I the only one? Okay. Now let's go to aisle 7. Yeah, I'm all for that.
I would really enjoy that for you guys. Not for myself.
Lainey's a little concerned. She's kind of like, have they put a lot of thought in?
You guys have like already gone on the interviews.
It's the only pitch deck I've successfully.
It's a safe space. You can say it. I can be a referral. I'll say good things.
Oh.
Well,
All right. Well, I guess maybe we should bring this one home then, because let's get some final thoughts from everybody on this. I know we went a little off the rails, but I think that's a big part of being an entrepreneur, that we can do that, right? And we start to embrace that, where we can have a little bit of fun in controlling what we can control, as we work very diligently to deprogram ourselves and not face that burnout, especially May is Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And
Yeah.
it's important
Yes.
to talk about this. Like, I'm not shy about talking. I go to therapy. I need it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I got to keep sane. Otherwise, I would go insane and I'm going to burn myself out because
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll ever fully deprogram from it,
Right.
Yeah.
but I sure as hell am a lot further along. And I know, like, as I grow my business, I don't want to be this huge consultancy. I don't ever want to get there because when I do hire people, I want them to have a life. I want to be able to invest in them.
Mhm.
I want to be selective about what we do and I want to have fun doing it.
Mhm.
That they have something at the end that they can take on their own and build for it.
Yeah. I just want entrepreneurs to remember when you become an entrepreneur, you don't get extra hours of the day. It's still 24 hours.
Yeah.
These folks who think you magically get, extra 5 hours here. No, it's still 24 hours. And within that, you're working and you got family, kids, stuff you want to do. Netflix comes out with new stuff. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stuff going on.
Mhm.
Just be realistic with your day. It's not, you don't have to consume all, you have to sleep, eat, work out. There's a lot of stuff you're trying to do in 24 hours. But whatever reason people think, oh, I'm becoming an entrepreneur. All of a sudden I have 48 hours. No, you don't have that much time. You only have 24 hours in a day. So just use them smartly, please.
Use them smartly and take breaks. Like,
Yes.
I
Amen.
try very hard now to not look at my laptop at all on the weekends just because I need a screen break.
Yeah.
And if you can, try and schedule time to exercise throughout your day, like at some point, just to like get your brain moving. Like just take breaks because no one is going to fault you for that. We
Yeah.
need you. We need you guys around.
Yeah. And there's a reason again why God created Law and Order SVU marathons.
It says something about all of us that we don't find it concerning about watching that channel filled with murder.
Maybe you should wrap this up.
Well, with that, like speaking of murder, you guys ready for the win and WTFs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
totally. And murder and like true documentaries. Like sign me up for relaxation.
Yeah. Hey, the ID channel, I treat that like Lifetime. I need that.
Yep.
So,
Like fully support it.
all right. Well, I will kick off. My for the win was the Met Gala, which just happened. And the reason I was excited about that, because this year the Met Gala's theme was super fine tailoring Black style. So it was inspired by the book by Monica Miller, Slaves to Fashion, and it was on Black dandyism. And this is the first time they ever highlighted Black fashion. So I just thought that was really cool. And they made some of the most money they've ever made in all the years that they've done this. So that was really cool. I mean, I know some people could feel like, oh, it's pretentious, this and the other. At the end of the day, it is a fundraiser. So the fact that they made money and they were highlighting Black fashion was pretty cool for me. So my WTF is, and me and Lainey talked about this. I think we have the same one. I want to know what the hell is going on at the Newark airport. Okay. I get it. There's not enough air traffic controllers, but it's like, this is news that's been going on for a while. I mean, you start hearing rumors, planes have fallen out of the sky. People are waiting 8 hours for a flight. It's very scary. I mean, are we going to be, I don't know about you and me, are we never just driving to that side flying to that side of the country anymore? Like, what are we doing? Because it's very scary. So
I am.
Yeah.
That is also my WTF moment.
Rob, we told me it was in your backyard.
Ron, I'm sorry, but you got to go fix whatever the hell is going on over at Newark Airport because I have never, I'm never going there again.
No, ever. I'm terrified of that whole airspace. I'm like, nope. People say the burning flag outside the country. Oh no, I can't. No.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
fix.
Sorry, Ron. We won't be visiting you anytime soon.
I hope you're not taking any vacations out of Newark because if you are, you need to switch.
Well, I guess I'll add that as my WTF moment then, simply because in 13 days, I will be flying out of there to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
Guess
So
what?
there
No.
will be interesting.
I'm not saying Lainey and I know the future, but we feel pretty certain you won't be flying
I don't
there.
think you're going to be flying.
Sure.
If so, you may want to extend your trip because it's going to take you 17 days.
Sure.
That's how long your flight will be delayed.
I would need a visa, and at that point, I might as well just reverse emigrate to the DR.
I mean, it's probably not a bad idea.
All right, lady. Well, we know your WTF. What's your for the win?
My for the win is honestly just my networking group. Like, I'm not in a set group. I just mean my network in general, because I have talked to so many people who are out of jobs right now and just need to get some momentum going. I always am surprised at how great of a network we can all have as entrepreneurs, because I've been able to introduce people to so many people, and it's none of it's for me, but it makes me feel good that I can at least help by referring people to other people. So yay, networking.
Nice.
Love
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Ron, what you got?
All right, I think my for the win is for my daughter, Kaylee, who, as of Friday, officially got her first full offer internship with Atlantic Health Systems in their fiscal department for the summer.
It's awesome.
Super happy for her. She got it all on her own without any support. She worked her ass off and everybody's really concerned about just her finding a job because there's not that many out there, and very happy that she landed that. So that is my for the win is for my daughter.
Oh, well, that's awesome. I had to say that I think all of us, that could be the for the win of all of us. I mean, not only is it a proud dad moment that we know she's been looking for a long time. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What a relief.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if she was in her own apartment in 2 weeks. So anyway.
Or anything.
So let's close this out. So here's the deal, folks, in closing. So burnout, it isn't a weakness, right? It's your business trying to send you a message. And if you have already proven that you can do the hard things, but what if the next move isn't pushing harder? It's building smarter. Otherwise, we'd end up on Smart Lisp, hosted by Jason Bateman. And again, we are not trying to say that we're not open to that in case they're listening, or somebody knows somebody on that show. So anyways, and if you're not alone, yeah, I feel that, you're not broken. You're just like the rest of us, and you're overdue for a better system. So until next time, keep your chair warm and the table will be ready.
Bye.
Well, that's a wrap on this episode of The Ron Table. Thanks for pulling up your chair, lending us your ear, and not touching our drums. Interested in more chaos, common sense, and conversations? Well, make sure that you hit that like button or the follow button, or drop us a question or a comment in the comment section below. If you want to follow us on social media, you can check out more under the resources tab at www.elevate-talent-solutions.com. Or you can visit Nicole Gray at renewedimpact.com. Hit up Laine Belcastro at lmbdigimarketing.com. And a big shout out to our producer and co-host Adrian Ruthart at acrventures.com. Until next time, keep that chair warm, because we're not done yet.